Hello, and welcome to Be Here Now, the Peaceful Empowerment Work Show, where presence allows perspective and invites peace. We are live on the newstreamingnetwork.com, home of goingboldmedia.com, goingsolomedia.com, and WGSN-DB. I am your co-host, Judy Forder, and I am very happy to introduce you to my special co-host in peace, Miss Deanna Wlazlak.
Hi, Judy. I'm
Hi,
happy
Deanna.
to be here.
Did I say your last name right?
Deanna Wlazlak. Yep, perfect. First L is silent. That's all you need to know.
Outstanding.
Yeah.
For our viewers that watch every week or spotty here and there, Janice is not with us this week because she has a day job, but will be back with us next week. And we have missed her and are excited for her return. So Deanna is going to take on her job as co-host.
Okay, I'm ready.
Today's focus is divine empowerment with Deanna.
Mm-hmm.
But we're not going to get into that yet because first we are going to talk about how attitude is everything. Attitude is everything. Now, last week I did the show by myself. Those of you that watched, thank you so much. Many people reached out to lend their support, and I appreciate that more than I could ever say. So I was getting the feeling that maybe if we could focus a little more on tools and some of the things that helped me move through my healing process, healing journey, that would be some good information for people. And one of the first things is attitude is everything. And this is something that I used to say to my kids when I was a coach, to the point where I actually had one of my teams get me a t-shirt that said attitude is everything, and they framed it.
Oh,
Yes, they were smart asses, but I love it.
It's a slogan. Yeah. Well, that means they love you. They love you. That is such a loving gesture.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So when I told Deanna in our pre-show meeting that, this was going to be the topic of our first segment, it's just perfect because Deanna too believes that attitude really is everything. It's all about mindset moving forward. So I did select a meme for this week that helps support what Deanna and I are going to talk about. If we could go to the next slide, Cece, that'd be great. There we go. Now I know that's right. Some of you believe your negativity is only going outwards and onto others. Meanwhile, forgetting that energy returns in the same form it was released. You are planting seeds of self-destruction. So, that's a big one. That's a big one.
It is.
Yeah. And, not only is attitude everything for what you put out in the world, but attitude is everything for how you receive the things that are happening to you. Are they happening to you or are they happening for you? That's an attitude shift right there. So Deanna, tell us a little bit about your experience with shifting attitudes and moving through.
Sure. Yeah. I think the first step is recognizing that we can take responsibility for all aspects of our life. And so, yeah. And at first, it can be kind of when we don't know this, when we're like, wait a second, life is happening out there and I'm happening in here. It can be like, oh my gosh, what do I do?
Mm-hmm.
But with discipline and devotion to ourselves, we can shift our attitude. We can shift what we believe. We can shift how we act. We can really shift everything. And we can always strive to be more in alignment with, if you want to call it love or creator consciousness or whatever it is, because literally everything we are putting out is returning back to us. And not only that, we are, just as you said, we're receiving from the consciousness that we're at. So if we are in a negative state of mind, even if someone comes up to you, gives you a gift, we could potentially see this as something harmful or hurtful, even when it's not. But when we shift our inner awareness to a state of love, we start to see everything as love itself. And so that is a huge consciousness shift.
Absolutely. And we have a comment from Katie
Hi,
Clark.
Katie.
So true. Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
One of our foundational teachers right there. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's funny when you said the word discipline, I was like, "Eh," and then you said devotion. And when you said, and discipline is an issue I have, that tells me that hit a trigger in me. So therefore that's something for me to look into. But devotion was like, yes.
Yeah.
The vibration of that word devotion for me was like, yeah, hell yeah, that's right.
Right. I get though, and discipline, I think, because it has sometimes this connotation with something being difficult, but
Yes.
really discipline can just be, I mean, imagine you want to complete something that's very difficult, like a challenge, like climbing a mountain or something. You need discipline to be able to complete this challenge or complete this mission. And it is not necessarily a bad thing. Like,
No.
bad and good are not real, are not in alignment with the creator consciousness. But discipline can be supportive when it's that ability to show up for ourselves,
When we shift our attitude toward the word.
Yes.
Collectively in my world, discipline was all about diet and eating and all that. When it came to me playing sports, I didn't have a problem going to practice, and even though I hated running and things like that. So when I hear the word discipline, I immediately go to tracking calories, and that's telling me I have more work to do in relation to that word and what it can mean to me, shifting the attitude toward it. And it was funny, devotion felt like a warm hug. Are you there? Uh-oh. I'm not sure who froze, if it's me or if it's Deanna. Oh, I guess it was Deanna. Technology is going to challenge us today. So yes, attitude is everything. And it was interesting because vibrations and frequencies of words is something that came up for me this week as well. And so it's, divine timing and divine alignment. It's hilarious that it came up in this first segment. When you can shift your attitude. For me, the biggest thing was, instead of why is this happening to me, it's why is this happening for me? I started looking for the lesson in every experience, whether it was a feel-good experience or it was something that was challenging and hard and felt terrible. So I just got a message from Deanna that her internet went out. She's going to come back up with us as soon as she can. So in the process of us waiting, let's move forward to tool time. And those of you that are around my age will know that tool time is a play on Tool Time from Tim the Toolman Taylor. Home improvement, my friends. Okay, so last week I dove into some of the tools, a lot of the tools that I use to help get me through my healing journey. So I thought, thank you, Katie. So I thought that I would expand upon them a little bit, take a little time to expand upon them. And when I said open mind and open heart, that's the first thing you need to come to the table with, because when you embark on this healing journey, everything about your life, yourself, your beliefs is going to be challenged. And so you need to be open and willing to try something new. You need to be able to look at your life and look at the world from a space of non-judgment and just be the observer. Pay attention to how you're feeling when you're exposed to new perspectives and things like that. How does that feel to you? Do you feel like you're being attacked? Is it, when somebody approached me with a different core belief than what I had, I immediately felt like I had to defend it, and it's my job to get them to understand and believe how I believe. Well, no, that's not the case at all. This is about paying attention to how you are responding to what's going on around you. Because once you understand the feeling and you reconnect to, because our body tells us an awful lot. Once you understand the signs and signals that your body's giving you, then you can start to understand that there are choices. And that was one of the biggest things for me, because being a teacher, it's like you're trapped in this profession for the rest of your life. You're stupid if you leave. And, you know, especially if you're 24 years in, people look at you like you're freaking lost your mind. So you have to be willing to go out on that limb and understand that you may not get a lot of support, only because people don't understand and they want what's best for you and they don't see how that's best for you. So you need to be, you know, just open mind, open heart. And again, be the observer. Collect the data to identify the patterns and behaviors and emotions that you're feeling. Because we go through life, when we're in survival mode, fight or flight, we're living based on the autopilot. We're living based on, you know, our subconscious thoughts. And until we can pull forward the belief system that's in our subconscious, there are no choices. And that, in order to do that, we have to be present. We have to be aware. We have to become the non-judgmental observer. Because as soon as we start judging what we're seeing, it throws us back into survival mode. And we're not capable of doing much in survival mode other than figuring out how to survive. So one of my favorite shows was Friday Night Lights, and they had a saying, clear eyes, full hearts can't lose. So when you're seeing clearly and your heart is full with intentions, pure intentions of the seeker, seeking truth, you know, you can't lose. And then the other tool I like to talk about is Reiki. I call Reiki my gateway drug. Ah, she's back.
Oh, technical difficulties, but that's okay.
You are back. We just got to the part where we were talking about, I just said Reiki is my gateway drug.
Yeah.
And I know that you practice Reiki as well. Are you a Reiki master?
I am. Yeah.
Okay. Do you teach Reiki?
I have. It's not my, I have. Yeah. Yeah.
I have too. It's not mine.
Yeah. Yeah. I work with clients more closely just one-on-one, but I will teach if someone approaches me and asks to be taught. I will do it, you know.
That is the same exact thing that I do. If I am
Yeah.
approached, someone asks me, then I say yes.
Exactly.
Yes. So for those of you that aren't familiar with Reiki, which tends to be thrown around more mainstream these days than way back when we started. But it's an ancient form of hands-on healing. It supports healing on all levels by reducing stress and strengthening your immune system. It helped lift me out of survival mode, help get me out of fight or flight. And it's funny because when I teach with Jen, and Jen says, you know, those attunements, Reiki 1 attunements are basically you announcing to the universe, to life force energy, whatever it is you want to call that higher power, that you're ready. You're ready to embark on this journey. So that's how I see Reiki. How about you, Deanna?
Yeah.
How's it been a tool in your healing journey?
It's been a magnificent tool. And it has assisted opening me up to more of who I am. And that's in terms of just of learning more about what it was that I was really feeling ever since I was a kid. And then opening me up to just, hey, we have magnificent powers of healing within our being. We are meant to be healthy and well. We are. And when our energy's flowing well, when we're connected with our source internally and connected with the earth and feeling connected, then really we are healthy. We feel good, you know? And it's expanded into being able to feel and sense what's going on, you know, in other energies, in other people. And it does expand you in that way. It opens you up to this way of being that is not just the physical, because we are not just the physical. We are energetic, divine, spiritual beings, you know? And so it really opens us up in that way. And I began with massage, but I knew I wanted to transition into energy work. But I'm like, how can I? It was a way of getting me there.
Yeah.
And so I have the awareness of the body, and most people are not aware that their physical pains are stemming from emotional trauma or from some energetic, happenings in their field that they just don't have that awareness yet. And so
Yes.
energy work helps you bridge that, like helps you get there,
Yeah. Yeah. And like I said in last week's show, after the first session, I didn't know what Reiki was, but after my first session, I still didn't know what had happened, but I knew I needed more because it opened up something in me, and that was before attunements. That was me receiving. It opened up something within me that that helped me to believe and see that there was more out there.
Right.
Yeah. So
And
that was
I find that with like for instance my parents who are like they are lovingly open to what I bring, but they're like my dad is like I don't know what this is, but I know it feels good and I know that my pain is gone when you do it,
hmm
So
yes.
it's like we all have access to these like we really all have access to this modality. It is
Absolutely.
ancient,
Yep.
ancient.
Yes. And you don't have to understand what's happening to reap the benefits of it. You just have to be open.
Right. Yes. And then it's like more than you could ever even imagine can lift off of you, can open within you when we're just open-hearted. Open. I heard you talking about that saying on Friday Night Lights, but it's so true. It's so true.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. So that's going to end tool time for today.
I caught the end of it at least.
I do. Yes, so we're going to move into Pathways of Peace. And we have our beautiful co host here that has been able to rejoin us.
Yeah.
Deanna, it was funny. I asked her how to pronounce her last name and I swore to her that I would only say it once. So I'm just going to say we're here to learn more
Yeah.
about. Now, it's
You
funny
did
because
great.
we met at a retreat years ago.
Yeah.
And I'm going to ask some questions that I have no idea what the answers are. Something as
Okay.
simple. Hey, Deanna, where were you born and raised?
Yeah. Should I answer right now?
Sure, go ahead.
Okay, I was born in Frederick, but I was raised in Gettysburg, and I lived there for most of my life.
Okay, and that's Maryland.
Gettysburg, Pennsylvania. Sorry, forgot to say
Gettysburg,
that.
Pennsylvania,
Yeah,
Frederick,
yeah,
Maryland?
yeah. I was born in Frederick, Maryland. Maybe just because the hospital was a bit better, or where my parents worked, or whatever. But I was born and raised in Gettysburg, Pennsylvania. Yeah,
Okay, perfect. All right. Do you have any siblings?
I do. I have younger twin brothers. They're 2 years younger than me.
Ooh, are you all
Yeah,
close?
we are. We live in different areas right now, but we are still close, and I love.
Outstanding. Great.
Yeah.
Awesome. What are some of your favorite childhood memories?
Childhood memories. Yeah, I lived at a lake, so we would always go swimming in the lake, in the pool. I love to swim. Living by the ocean now, it's nice, so I love swimming. I have great memories actually of being around baseball fields because my dad played Division 1 baseball, so it's very important in his life, and I just have a lot of great family childhood memories of being like around the baseball field, just whether I was keeping the scorebook or watching and just playing with my friends in the yard, playing
Nice.
kickball or whatever. Yeah.
These days they would call us feral because,
Yeah.
you in the morning and you come back for dinner.
Yes. What? Yeah. But it was the best. It's
Yeah,
like really the best. And to be outside all
yeah.
that time and exploring, there is nothing like it.
So your connection to nature has always been.
Yes. And it's been really important for me in the past few years, just because the earth is, it's like we're living in this almost like mentally like driven world where people are not as connected to nature as they once were,
Mhm.
our ancient ancestors. And so reconnecting with the elements and just being, sitting around a fire
Mhm.
or sitting in nature, swimming, being in the ocean, and it's like those elements are alive. The earth is alive, and we can connect with them, and they're deeply healing, and they're a part of us. They're part of who we are. Yeah.
Makes my heart feel so good. And right
Yeah.
there, we're going to stop and brief commercial break, and we'll be back with more Divine Empowerment with Deanna.
Okay.
And we're back. Be Here Now, the Peaceful Empowerment Work Show with Deanna, and we're going to talk about divine empowerment. So I'm going to give your official bio before we launch into what you're going to us, okay? All right. Deanna is passionate about mind, body, spirit wellness, natural healing modalities, and being a support to allow others to dive deep within themselves to return to their true nature and source code. She can read what is going on in your energy field through multiple dimensions, supporting you through the inner healing and awakening process. Divine empowerment has been an integral part of her journey. Experiencing divine empowerment means having the awareness that in this present moment now, I already have all that I need. I am whole and complete, and I am one with all that is. Whew. That makes my heart feel so good.
Yeah, mine too.
That's just your bio. My goodness.
Yeah. It's really what I'm passionate about. It's really why I'm here. It's why I'm here on this earth. So,
Now, it's interesting because I was telling Diana Deanna, sorry. I don't know why I went to Diana. Diana Langhauser. I was wondering if Diana Langhauser's watching. Anyway, you know.
Yeah.
I was saying in the pregame meeting that everything, all of your social media stuff is divine alignment. But you're here talking about divine empowerment. So would you like to share a little bit about how you have transitioned from divine alignment to divine empowerment?
Sure, I would. Yeah. So divine alignment came to me. I follow my intuition as do you, so divine alignment came to me a few years ago, and it's really about aligning with our most natural state of being, like with our source within us, and that healing journey of doing deep alignment within ourselves. But as I started transitioning into coaching and like life coaching and or counseling and working with people one-on-one and wanting to see them remember who they are, then it became more empowering. It's about empowerment because, as I stated in my bio, we have everything within us. We are it, and we have, like you, anyone watching, you already have everything you need inside of you. And so sometimes we have people who come in to support us in that, and that's what I can do and you can do, or other healing facilitators. But really it's about feeling empowered within ourselves, knowing we have everything already within us. So it's become just a passion of mine, and it's taken on a life of its own, and I'm just letting it do so through me.
I love it. I love that so
Yeah.
much. So how were you able to discover the divine empowerment within you?
Yeah, that would be like through challenges, challenges, and what some would call the dark night of soul. It's like those times when you feel like, where do I go from here? Like, what do I do? And those times of darkness when something challenges. Yeah, and I would say darkness because in that time you are not aware of the light of your consciousness. A part of you is not aware of it until you go through some type of transformation where you recognize it's like a shift. A shift occurs, and then I feel like a lot of it personally for me was in relationships or through trying to search for things outside of me that would give me the answers that I wanted. And it never happened. And you're met with disappointment because it's like every time it's like returning back within ourselves.
Yeah, and
So
it's
build,
interesting that the answers that I wanted,
yeah,
because you're an intuitive energy reader. You know that we don't deliver information that people want. We deliver information that people need. And that in itself can be challenging.
it can be. I mean,
Yeah.
ultimately, it's the most, what I find in session, it's the thing that's going to shift the awareness and shift perhaps whatever needs to be shifted, but it's not always what the mind wants to hear,
Yeah.
but what the heart needs. It's, you know,
Mm-hmm. Yes.
yeah.
And as an intuitive reader, an energy reader, when did you start? Have you always trusted your intuition?
No. I
All
mean,
right.
on some level, I realized that I was guided, like I was making choices because that's what my soul journeyed here to do, to experience these types of environments or scenarios or relationships. And so, on some level, even though I would look back now and be like, why did I choose that? But on some level, I was, making the choice that was right for me at the time. But I feel like on a gut level, people trust their instincts, but it's about also letting that translate up into our everyday conscious mind, being like remembering how to trust in the guidance that we're receiving. Because as you know, our heart guidance is not always logical. It does not follow this linear pattern of x plus y equals z. It's like, do this now, and you're like, okay, I guess so. And learning to really trust in that. And it's been a journey for me when reading for people and or just picking up what's happening in the energy, especially if it's loved ones or whoever, guides show up or energies, to trust the message and to allow it to come through in its perfect way, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. I had mentioned, sitting in with a client, one-on-one with a client or with a friend or family member, I do not doubt at all any of the information that I have coming through. It's when I
Right.
sit self that it'll be like, what? No way. I made that
Yeah.
up.
I know what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm much better with it now, but it's been a process. It's been an absolute process.
Yeah.
And so what was it that launched your shift from, okay, this is a gut feeling, it feels right, to, no, I'm going to sit here and I'm going to open that line of communication. I'm going to build that line of communication, and I'm going to trust what I am
Hmm.
guided and told.
Actually, I would say it's when I first moved down to South Carolina, I was connected with a woman who was giving sessions reading energy and as a medium. And
Mhm.
she's like, you can do this too. And I was like, what? I can? Like, oh my God. And what's interesting about it is, so I was practicing with my partner and I'm like, okay, give me someone crossed over. And he's like, okay. So he gave me a name and I just tuned in with the energy. And it was like, it was an uncle and he's like really slow. I felt like this really slow movement. Like, he's like, he couldn't move his body. And my partner, he just starts crying, and I'm like, "What?" And he said he had Lou Gehrig's disease, and that's how and so he died that way. And so I'm
Uh-huh.
like, "Oh my God, I can do this." And what was interesting was it was this line of communication that I had always. It's like it was always there, but I was expecting it to look like something else. Like I was expecting it to be like, a spirit walking down the street. But no, it's my own way of perceiving energy. And then I learned how to trust that stream, you
Mm-hmm.
know?
Yep. Yes, and that's a very excellent point. You expected to see them walking down the street. Everybody receives in different ways. It's about learning your line of communication and what your energetic language is. So
Yes.
point to bring up, because there are people that see. There
Yeah.
are, people see, they smell, all the voyants, all the
All the clients. Yes.
all they're all
Yeah,
out there.
they are.
And yeah, it's so important to drop the expectations. So many clients are like, it's not happening. I'm not getting any signs from the universe. And then we talk and I'm like, well, that's a sign, and that's a
Right.
sign.
Right.
And, and because
It's
they
so
hold
true.
the expectation of what it should look like, they're missing all of the signs. I mean, there's like
Yes.
a full Broadway musical going on, and they're like, I'm not getting any signs.
But where is it? Yeah, yeah. It's so true. And like
Yes.
in that
So
same vein, being able to stay in the present moment is super important, and being just aware of what's going on. Just being aware, because it's all naturally happening within us, outside of us, and we're like looking, thinking it should look a certain way, and it's already right there. It's right in front of our eyes
yeah,
most often, or inside of our heart, both.
and you being in the present moment, to say those words is easy. It's easy to say, but what does it mean? What does being present mean to you?
Mhm. To me, it means being anchored fully where I am. And
Mhm.
so for me, that's, allowing my consciousness to be embodied in my body. And so being aware of the sensations, the feelings, noticing what I'm seeing, what I'm feeling, what I am smelling in this moment, and not allowing these stories to take your mind into what's perceived of the past or the future, but really staying here and noticing what is a mind story that my mind's just running, and what is actually true right here, right now.
Perfect. And asking those very questions, because as soon as I start forming a judgment or whatever, then I know that I've left the present moment and I've
Yes,
back into the past, because I can only form a judgment from what I've already experienced.
yes, so true.
Yeah. So, you know, being present is extremely empowering.
It is.
That whole your divine empowerment. It When you're doing the work with your clients, you have to be present.
Yes. And
You know,
yes. And the goal is for them to be present as well, or and at least to recognize the benefit of what being present does for us.
and I think I'm here. It's funny because I'm hearing it right now. Is that that's what we do as heal? We don't heal people. We
Right.
create the sacred space and the energy to invite them to their own healing. And
Yes.
when they are with us, it is much easier for them in the energy and sacred space that we create for them to be present with us
Mm.
in that. And then the trouble they have is when they leave our energy, they go back into autopilot. So
Right.
it's like exercising a muscle.
Yes.
We don't
And that's
realize we're present until we've experienced being present, and it feels so different.
right. And that's why I think your like the value you bring with tool time is like, okay, but how, like how can I bring myself back here? How can I access this state that I know exists? But when we've been operating on autopilot for so long, it's like our mind is used to running in this certain way, and have, like we were talking before the show, having certain habits. And how can I create a new habit of being present, you know?
Yes. And it takes discipline and devotion.
It does. It does. And that's a good thing. And it's a good thing.
Yes. And being present is it's like what are they, the sports car on that pathway to peace.
Yeah.
When you have been able to master living in that present moment, and this is going to say, when you're comfortable living in the present moment, receiving, observing what is here and now, all the other shit doesn't bother you.
Hmm.
It doesn't matter what other people are thinking. It doesn't matter what other people are saying. Their energetic influences don't affect you, because you're in the present moment. You're open to seeing what's going on and understanding that this present moment may not feel so good, but like that, you're in another present moment. And
I think that is so important what you just said too, because it's like even uncomfortable present, even when we are in present moments that have uncomfortable sensation.
mhm,
Those are the moments and those are the parts of us that hold the gems, because
yes,
they're the ones that have been in fear or have been feeling separate from love. And they are the parts of us that so deeply need the devotion of ourselves to access the love that exists within the present moment. And we can be that for all parts of our being. And we can access that now, right now.
beautiful. Yes, because in the past, in the present moment, when it was uncomfortable, I would do everything I could not to feel uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Especially after my mother died, that processing the grief and the anger, and it's like, well, this doesn't feel good. Grab a
Right.
beer. This doesn't feel good. Grab another beer. So
Mhm.
it's funny at Masterful You, we joked about feeling comfortable in the uncomfortable, where now it's not something that I crave, but I understand that when I'm uncomfortable, I start asking my questions. I go within. Okay, what's going on here? What is it you want me to learn? What am I not seeing?
Oh,
And
it's so powerful. It's so powerful. It is.
I mean, yes. And instead of, because I would look outward, like, oh, you're making me feel this way. You're making me uncomfortable. You're making me feel, you. And instead of doing that anymore, the gift of being present is being able to ask. You remember to ask those questions.
Yes.
Drop into your heart and ask for clarity. Why am I feeling this way?
Right. Right.
Yeah.
And that is like that is a pillar of what the work that I do when I'm in a coaching session. It's going, instead of focusing on this outside world, what is internally going on inside of me?
Yes.
Because the solution is actually inside. It's not outside, it's inside.
No, and it wasn't until I started going in and asking the questions that I started to understand, even though I had heard it a million times, but I
Right.
started to understand on a cellular level that whatever's going on in here is reflected out there.
Right.
So if I'm able to align in love in here and provide myself with everything I need,
Yeah.
first then aligns and gives me everything I want.
Yes. I love it, Judy. It's so true. It's so true. And that is how we are empowered
Oh
within.
no.
Oh,
Yes.
not again. We're good.
We lost yet because that is why we are empowered because
Because where was I? I was like, okay. We are empowered because we can access everything within ourselves. We can, and so it's literally like anything that's going on in our outer world can be resolved within us
yes. Yes. And
by
that's
accessing.
being the recovering people pleaser. It's not about fixing other people.
Right.
Other people are experiencing their own challenges. They're on their own healing journey.
Yes.
Going within doesn't give you the power to fix everybody else. Going within gives you the power to align you.
Yes. And in that, we can ignite this awareness in others, but it's not necessary. It may not be their journey.
Mm-mm.
And also, I mean, one of my journeys as well with recognizing it's not my job to fix things, but recognizing that it was at a young age that we picked up that imprint, that we thought, oh my God, I have to fix these things. And so it's actually these younger versions of us that are like, in fear or in a state of sadness or just trying to feel safe.
Yes.
And we can, so once we recognize all these different aspects of ourselves that want to come up and just return to love, then we can really find that resolution, find that harmony and healing. And then we're okay. We know we are a loving being and everyone is this love as well. And they're on their own beautiful journey, you
Mm-hmm.
know?
Yes.
Yeah.
We are here to love and be loved.
Yes.
Those younger versions of us, that's inner child work. And you say inner child work and everybody's like, ah, but
Yeah.
of point is, you are the only one that can go in and save that little girl. You're the only
Yes,
one that can go in and,
yes.
yeah, you are your own superhero. So
And they were, it's those painful parts, those scared parts, those angry parts. They want to be loved so deeply, and and we can give that to them.
yes, absolutely. Absolutely. A lot of times they just need to be heard.
Yes,
They just,
witnessed. Yeah.
yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Deanna, this has been wonderful reconnecting with you. Thank you so much for saying yes. If we could flip forward, if you would like to connect with Deanna and get a session with her, she does remote, she does in person. You want to hit that next slide, Cece? These are her. Would you like to speak them out so people
Yeah.
have the best way for them to get in touch with you?
Yeah. So this is my link tree, which would just be https://linktr. I think it might be.
No,
Yeah. It should be
LNK.
tr.ee. That's the right one.
Oh, I'm
For-
sorry. Yeah.
It's okay. It's okay. /DEANNAWLAZLAK. And then I also have a website, which is www.divinealignmentdeanna.squarespace.com. And so on the link tree is just all of the different, I have my YouTube channel on there. I have my website. You can contact me via that link tree. I'm also in alignment with the wealth community. So I have that link on there, which is just all about embodying our wealth consciousness and embodying abundance, because this universe is abundant. And so we do lots of amazing work in that community. So
Excellent.
yeah.
Outstanding. Outstanding. We want to remind you, we got our message from Janice. We are a nonprofit, Peaceful Empowerment Work nonprofit. We are a 501c3. So if you would like to donate, you can go to our website, peacefulempowermentworks.com. And if you donate at least $25 and contact Janice, she will send you a t-shirt as a thank you gift. And if it's $50 or more, she will send you a sweatshirt. You can contact Janice at peacefulempowermentworks@gmail.com. @gmail.com. So yes, Deanna, I want to thank you so much for saying yes to be here
Yeah.
now with.
Thank you so much for inviting me. I'm so grateful.
And I'm excited to see what happens with you moving forward.
Yeah, I'm excited as well. New opportunities to say yes to.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I want to thank everybody out there for tuning in. And if you want to contact Deanna and you didn't catch all of the ways you can, it'll be posted on our Facebook page as well. The Be Here Now, the Peaceful Empowerment Work Show. So thank you, everybody. Please remember, as Janice always says, you are not alone. And don't forget that you are awesome. And we'll see you next week. Thank you so much.
Thank you.